Shortly after dropping out of college, I found my way to a career that I became successful at. I had this ambition and this desire to be the best, to fit in certain groups, and the using of drugs allowed me to be accepted. I went from using once or twice a month on the weekends to using cocaine several nights a week. I was brought up in a very legalistic situation, and there was a standard set that I didn't feel I could live up to. I'd gotten to the point where I did not believe in God. It was way more convenient based on who I was. The more my addiction progressed, the more I alienated myself from my family, the more I caused harm on my family financially, mentally, emotionally. I came home one morning and discovered that my wife had taken my 2 sons and had left. The weight of the 42 years of my life and all the failures, all the fears, all the wreckage that I've caused is just sitting on top of my shoulders. And in my heart, I would tell myself over and over throughout the morning and throughout the day that I was not going to get high that night. But the drugs and the addiction had such a grip on me, it seemed like I was left without a choice. And each and every night I would go back to that place and get those same things that I always did and come back to that hotel room that had become my existence. For the first time in my life, me living really didn't matter to me. So I went and bought enough drugs to kill myself that night.
How great the chasm that lay between us, how high the mountain I could not climb. In desperation, I turned to heaven and spoke your name into the night.
Who could imagine so great a mercy? What heart could fathom such boundless grace? The God of ages stepped down from glory to wear my sin and bear my shame.
The cross has spoken, I am forgiven. The King of Kings calls me his own. Beautiful Savior, I'm yours forever. Jesus Christ, my living hope. Then came the morning that sealed the promise. Your very body began
The next day when I woke up, I still had the desperation and the hopelessness, but I decided to get help. I went to treatment. And without the drugs and the alcohol to turn to, I had to try something else. For the first time in many, many years, I decided to pray. All in that moment, God completely reconciled all of those frustrations, questions, hurts. That burden of religion and legalism was lifted off of me, and that night was so free. I was a broken, desperate, helpless, hopeless man, and through me seeking Him has totally restored my marriage, my family tenfold. When my children look at me now, they do not see that struggling drug addict that they once saw. They see a man of God who is a spiritual leader of their family. God is still working miracles today. I'm living, breathing proof of that. The redemption and the restoration that has occurred is far more than I could have imagined. I am so thankful He came running to get me there.
Then came the morning that sealed the promise. Your very body began to breathe out of the silence. The roaring lion declared the grave has no hold on me. Jesus, yours is the victory. Oh, hallelujah. Praise the one who set me free. Hallelujah. Death has lost its grip on me. You have broken every chain. There's salvation in your name. Jesus Christ, my living hope. Hallelujah. Praise the one who set me free. Hallelujah. Death has lost its grip on me. You have broken every chain. There's salvation in your name. Jesus Christ, my living hope. Jesus Christ, my living hope. Jesus Christ, my living hope.
Hey guys, my name is Marcus Lima. I'm one of the collabs of Urban Saints. I'm here to, share something with you. And this today is a very special day to me, and I believe for most of Christians and followers of Jesus Christ. Today we celebrate, Jesus' resurrection. It's Easter Sunday. Today, supposedly, the churches around the globe would be gathering together to celebrate, this very special moment in history. Unfortunately, because of COVID-19, we had to change the way that we would celebrate Easter. Honestly, I'm almost 40 years old, and I don't remember anything close to what we're seeing today. I don't remember seeing any churches or any gatherings being stopped because they were celebrating Easter. Well, this is an epic moment in history, and I am here to share a little bit with you, since we can't get together in a big gathering, but we can get together through technology, through internet. And what I want to I want to share with you guys is a special moment in the life of the disciples of Jesus Christ. So last Friday we celebrate Good Friday. That was when Jesus Christ died. He was hanged on a cross, and at that moment he said one of the most beautiful statements for humankind. He was God himself, hanging on a cross, and he said some very powerful words. And those words were, "It is finished." So if we read John 19, you're gonna see that Jesus, verse 30, Jesus just, he proclaimed, he made that statement so powerful that he said, "It is finished. My purpose here on earth, it is done. I completed." And those words gave us access to something that we never could think about it. But in between those words, and when we go to chapter 30, where Jesus Christ is risen, the resurrection of Jesus Christ, there's a gap in between that I was thinking about. I was thinking about the lives of the disciples. The disciples, they were fearless, but they were bold. But they had Jesus with them. The person, the incarnation, like the incarnated God was in a person, and he was a person, and he was walking with his disciples, for 3 years. And at the moment when he died, the disciples didn't know what was going on. So I was thinking, what went through their minds between Good Friday and Easter Sunday? And we're in the middle of a crisis. It's a global crisis. It's a pandemic. We never lived something like this. If you're not 100 years old or 102 years old, you never experienced a pandemic like this in your entire life. And we are right in the middle. So we are right in the middle between Good Friday and Sunday Easter Sundays. So we're in between that time that no one knows what's gonna happen. So let's go back to the disciples and imagine, you are walking with someone who is God and who is saying that he's gonna establish his kingdom. And then on a Friday, he is crucified. He is dead. They killed that man who said that he was God and he was going to establish his kingdom. So the disciples, in between that day, Friday and then Sunday, they just lost all hope. They just lost everything, all their hope, everything that they were taught about Jesus. It was gone because he died. They killed Jesus. They killed the Messiah. But I was thinking about Peter. Peter was one of them, of course. And Peter, he denied Jesus. And Peter, he said to Jesus that nothing was gonna happen to him. And he, if anyone was trying to kill him, he was just kind of cut their neck. But this is what's happening. Peter were there right after this, moment of the crucifixion where they killed Jesus, and probably he was thinking, what's gonna happen now? All my hope is gone. All my dreams are gone. There's no more kingdom like that we're gonna conquer. There's no more this idea of changing the world. And I was thinking about that, and I was kind of bringing that moment to me, to what we're living right now. Honestly, in the middle of this pandemic, God has blessing us so much. My family and I, we have experienced the supernatural, provision, healthy of God. He has provided to us more than enough. But not everyone is having the same blessing that I am. And I wanted to share this message also to you who might be experienced one of the worst time of your life. I was reading the news, over 6 million people filed to unemployment, this week. Also, You know, there's a lot of business. I was driving in downtown Seattle today, and my heart really like was in such a pain because I was looking those business, and I went to Beacon Hill and I was looking those business there, and they're all closed, and I was thinking, are they gonna ever reopen again? Because I'm a small business owner as well, and luckily I will be able to go back if this thing if we finish all this lockdowns and the stay home orders soon. If it extended to a long time, I don't even know if I'm going to survive as a small business. But here's the thing. I was driving by and I was looking at those businesses that were all closed, and I was thinking, what is going through their minds? Maybe you that is listening to me right now and watching me, what is going through your mind? You might not have any idea how to surpass or how to pass through this moment. You probably never experienced something like this before, and you see no hope. Well, let me tell you, 2,000 years ago, a little more than 2,000 years ago, God, Jesus' disciples were going through the same thing. They were promised kingdom power. They were promised to conquer this world. And then the person who promised him was crucified on a cross, on a Friday, and they said, it is finished. Well, but they didn't know that when Jesus said it is finished, he had something much better for them. He had Easter Sunday prepared for them. He had the resurrection prepared for them. And above all, he had eternity prepared for them. So it's the same thing that I want to tell you right now. You might going through a very difficult time. This probably is going to be one of the worst Easter of your life, because you have no hope. You don't see what's going to happen to you and to your family in the next 2-3 weeks. You probably have no money. Some of you guys probably didn't make the rent at the beginning of this month. Some of you guys couldn't pay your car. Some of you guys probably don't even have food to provide to your family. Well, but here's the thing. When Jesus Christ resurrected on Sunday, there was a very special moment when Mary Magdalene went to see him. She went after his body, and when she got there, she couldn't find anything, but there was 2 angels there and say hey woman, what you looking for? What's going on here? And then when she was looking at them, what happened is Jesus called her and say woman, why are you weeping? Who you're looking for? What's the problem? And when she looked at Jesus, she didn't see him. She didn't recognize him well enough until he called her by name, say Mary, and she say, teacher, it is you. So this is what's going on. Probably when you're going through a very difficult time, and you might not understand what is going on, but let me tell you, Jesus is calling you by name. He's calling you by your own name. He's calling Marcus, why are you weeping? What you looking for? Set your eyes on me. Look at me, because I am alive. Listen, your hopes are not lost. Listen, your dreams are not lost. Listen, that business that you have, it's not lost. Why? Because you can find hope in me. I am alive. So this is what I want to share with you today. If you are hopeless, if you think that you're living one of the worst time of your life, look at Jesus. He's calling you by name. If you don't know him, if you don't have a true relationship with him, this is not too late. You still have time, because he knows you by name. Just set your eyes on him and say, Jesus, I want to give my life to you. Or, Jesus, I accept you as my Savior. I give my life to you. Take possession of my life, of my dreams, of my family, of my business, of my job, whatever, it is. Just give it to Him. Just say, Jesus, I am here and I give you everything because you're calling me by my name. So Easter Sunday is the day where Jesus is calling you by name. He knows your name, and as He calls you, you will definitely tune into His voice and you will know that is Him. Jesus, when He calls us, by our name, and we are able to hear on our, in our spirit, His sweet voice, everything changes. All the circumstances change because it's God, it's the creator of the universe that's talking to you. He is here say listen, Marcus, I know what you are going through, but it's not too late. It's not everything lost because I am alive and we are gonna go through this together. So just gather all your friends, gather all your family, gather those who you love and say, listen, we are not gathering because we can't, but just tell them we're not alone. There's a creator. God Himself is calling you by your name and He's telling you, listen, don't weep anymore. Don't cry anymore. Just what you were looking for, like the things that you lost, they're gone. They're in the back. What I have for you is a brighter future. What I have for you is a time of prosperity, of healthy, of fearless emotions where you're gonna walk with boldness. And you will see, of course, we got to take all the measure. We got to wash our hands. We got to keep 6 feet apart. We got to wear masks if we need to. If you're sick, we got to stay home and all. We got to stay home if we're sick, all that. But let me tell you this, that doesn't define, what God has for us. That doesn't stop what God has for us. What He has for us is bigger than this virus. What He has for us, it's bigger than a pandemic. What He has for us is eternity. It's His promise. All His promise are yes and amen. So today is Easter Sunday, where we celebrate the resurrection of our Saviors. But also today is the day that He's looking at you and He's calling you by your name and He's saying, listen, I am here. I am alive. Put your hopes in me. Let me handle your frustration. Let me handle, your pain. Just look at me. If you lost someone, very special because of this virus, let me tell you, I'm here and I will take care of you. I'm here, I am alive, and I know you by your name. By name, I'm calling you. I hope you have a wonderful Easter Sunday. I hope you have a wonderful 2020. It's not finished yet. 2020 will be one of the greatest time of our life. And I'm telling you, Easter Sunday is the beginning of something new because our Savior, Jesus Christ, my Savior, my Daddy, the one that gave me everything, He is alive. Happy Easter. Stay healthy.
My ruins, resurrected. God, this is the end.
You can't tell me you can make the dead in me come back to life.
Everything turns to ashes, but without the hope of revival.
Imagine living with faith in God. I can't.
Get back on my feet, I stumble and fall, but I am too weak to make it on my own.
So my only option is surrender.
I throw my hands in the air. I give up. I ruin everything I touch.
It's foolish to think that God can restore my life.
Wait, God can restore my life,
It's foolish to think that I ruin everything I touch.
I give up. I throw my hands in the air. Surrender is my only option.
I'm too weak to make it on my own, so I stumble and fall, but get back on my feet with faith in God.
I can't imagine living without the hope of revival.
Everything turns to ashes, but you can make the dead in me come back to life.
You can't tell me this is the end.
God resurrected my ruins.